sorry it took us so long, guys. We were waiting for Brian Brigger, our equipment manager. He's from Cincinnati. I think he had a bunch of press stuff, so we're waiting to go after him. But no, hey, honestly, I'm just going to say this, and I probably get a little bit emotional. Brian Brigger, that's a great effing dude. And this guy, he's an Xavier guy, so he doesn't love the Cincinnati people. But what he's meant to our program, and he came before I was there, is so special. And you know what? We told our guys, when you have to dig deeper today, think of Brian Brigger. I mean, the passion he brings, and this is our equipment manager. The passion he brings every day, the professionalism he brings to his job, the team player that he is, I mean, says something about our culture. And our guys, I think, he ain't the easiest guy to pick up. But I think they picked him up after the game in the locker room. I thought we might have to wheelbarrow him out, but they picked him up. And so, hey, I mean, Brian Brigger is someone we love. And you know what? Our love for him helped us dig a little bit deeper today. And I know normally coaches don't start out talking about an equipment manager at a press conference, but this dude's something different. He's special.
He's always pretty demonstrative. Was he different out there being able to, as he was home?
I mean, I didn't even notice him in the game, but no, he's been an amazing tour guide. We've been driving around. He's been pointing to everything, saying what this is, saying what that is, showing us his favorite dive bar because we practiced at Xavier yesterday. And I think he took the guys to a restaurant last night. The guys thought it was like 1.5 stars overrated, but he thought it was like a 6-star restaurant. But yeah, he's been great. It's been great to have him back. And you know what's really cool is he went to Xavier. Went out there, worked with Sean, stayed with us, and tonight, you know what? He's fired up. We won, and he's fired up to go watch the Bengals play against the Steelers tonight with his dad at home, which is pretty cool.
For Tommy and all you guys, what was the biggest difference between this situation and UCLA a few weeks ago? And we're up at
The biggest situation is we found a way, and our guys kind of hung in there. We had a big lead, and it's happened to us before this year. It happened to UCLA a couple weeks ago. We're up 13, and the games get tough. I mean, these other teams are good. They're talented. They amp up the pressure. I thought our guys did a good job of hanging with it. The turnovers crushed us. The offensive rebounding hurt us. But then KJ Lewis made 2 amazing kind of driving plays where he didn't have much at the end. He got on 2 feet, pivoted, and just found a way to will in 2 baskets. And that's what we didn't do against UCLA. We were never able to make that, kind of hold on to that lead a little bit longer. And then the game got tied. I'm down with it. I'm like, come on, we got to find a way on this one. These guys deserve it. They've been amazing, and it'll be a kind of a pivotal moment for our season. And we kind of drew up something out of the timeout that we'd never really done before, and it allowed Jaden Bradley to get downhill and make a layup. The play wasn't necessarily for that, but that was one of the options, and he made a layup, I think, when the game was tied, and we got that 2-point lead, and I think we got to stop, and we were able just to kind of, possession by possession, find a way from there.
What did you see from Carter tonight? 14-point season high, true freshman in a pretty raucous environment.
I should wear my glasses because I didn't see that. But Carter, listen, Carter's really making progress. And the one thing about Carter is, I've told him, I mean, he checks 2 boxes that are really hard to check. He's an elite talent and he has elite character. The game is going to come to him. The refinement's going to come. The experience is going to come. And the progress he's made in the last month has been game-changing for us. And I'm really proud of him because you know what? When you're somebody with Carter's stature and you come to a place like Arizona, the expectations, might be a little unrealistic. Sometimes it works out for freshmen right away. A lot of times it doesn't. And you just got to hang with it. And he's hung with it. And he's continued to get better. He has had an amazing attitude. I mean, he hits 5 for 5, 3 for 3. He should have made that other free throw. He had a perfect night. But just super proud of him and the person that he is.
Coach, Caleb goes just 3 from 15 shooting tonight, 12 points. Was there something that Dan Skillings and Dede Thomas really presented?
They're good defenders. I mean, obviously, Cincinnati's a great defensive team, and we knew that coming in, and we knew they were going to pay a lot of attention to Caleb and really make his touches harder. I thought he had a few good looks and a few drives, that were 50-50 foul calls he maybe could have caught that he didn't. And some catches. I know we ran an out of bounds play for him at the end. He had a stripped top of the key 3 to kind of ice the game that rimmed out. Those are shots I want him taking. So they did a good job on him, and they did a great job on him. And he probably had there's a few shots that maybe go in for him sometimes that didn't. But you know what? He's a winner, and Caleb is someone I love. and I love being in the fight with him, and I love that, you know, sometimes maybe people aren't rooting for him, because you know what, we are, and we love the guy, and we're going to ride with him every day.
Did you think you could pull away when it was 19 points there early in the second half?
I mean, listen, I'm hoping. You know, you never know, right? Like, these games are tough, and you're hoping. It's obviously a great environment when you show up, you know, before tip-off and every seat's full. You know it's going to be something special. And I thought for 30 minutes we did an unbelievable job keeping that crowd really quiet. And then we maybe got a little fatigued, and, you know, their sense of urgency amped up a little bit, created some turnovers, and they got out in transition and kind of, you know, obviously got themselves back in the game. But, you know, that's something for us to continue to look at. You know, hey, it's tough to get a 19-point lead at a place like Cincinnati. So we got to put that in our back pocket and know we can do it. And then now the next thing is, how do you manage that? And I think we can grow there.
Tommy, you talked about earlier this season that Arizona is a tradition-rich program that galvanizes the Tucson community. What can you say about guys like Trey Townsend and Anthony Delorso to come in from the mid-major to now a high major? How have they adapted to the culture and the expectations that Arizona's program has?
Well, they've been great. I mean, they're first class individuals, first class dudes, and you know, one of the things we try to spend a lot of time on, and, you know, some of these guys won't be at, you know, Arizona for 3 or 4 or 5 years, so we really do as good a job as we can educating them on the history and the legacy of Arizona basketball, the former players, the great teams, the tough moments. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about that stuff. There's a lot of conversation between former players and current players, and they've been awesome, and they're helping us so much. Everybody that got on the court today really contributed, which makes this a total team effort.
Questions for the players?
Yeah, both you guys, could you guys, how did you guys feel, you know, when that lead got fully erased in the last couple minutes, and, you know, did the crowds get loud? What was kind of the move for you?
I mean, we just knew we had to pull away with this one. Obviously, we had the UCLA game, so we had experience already from the season. So with this one, we just knew we had to win and, like, stay poised and make play-by-play.
Or
I think, like Henri and Coach Lloyd said, it was just one we had to get. We fought with it, we stuck with it, we trusted our game plan. I think we executed everything to not necessarily a T, but as well as you can ask for in an environment and playing against a great defensive team like this. So.
And Carter, just your thoughts on, do you feel like the role you're in is kind of working for you, as far as you came in today, that things are kind of defensive struggle, and you kind of sparked them early, it seemed like, and then late too?
I think just being ready when my number is called. I think me and everybody that played today did a great job of contributing in the way that we needed to. We know every night it's going to be somebody's night because we have such great players, and we work on it every day. I mean, I see all these guys in the gym every day, so I don't think it's necessarily that the position that I'm in or the spot. I think it's just a game-to-game thing.
First time playing at Cincinnati since joining the Big 12. What was your guys' thoughts on the environment this afternoon?
Loved it. Loved it.
It was a great crowd. The seats were sold out. It was fun to play.
Anything else?
Well, Tommy, Henri, you know, obviously you played more today. Is that maybe an indication things coming? I mean, you're going to rely on more and more?
The only indication on this team is how the game's going, and you know, Henri's, you know, he's getting better and better, and Henri knows this. I've stuck with him through thick and thin, and I've always been a huge Henri Veesaar fan. You know, he and I have always had great conversations, and you know what? He's finally getting his chance, and with getting his chance, you know, he's getting some game confidence, and so is Carter. I mean, game confidence is a huge deal. To have confidence in games, and you know, you get better in workouts, you get better in practice, but to be able to do it in games really kind of cements it. So I think these guys are taking the next steps as players, and I look forward to, they know that I'm going to probably come with 3 or 4 things on film tomorrow that they could do better, and that's just how we operate.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Tobe? Had kind of maybe on the other side kind of a rough day out there with the foul.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he had a couple tough fouls, you know, the intentional foul or the flagrant foul, and he had another one where he chucked the guy in the lane, and then you know, Henri gets in there. I think Henri was plus 20. I mean, that matters. You know, I mean, I don't know the stats in the moment of the game, but you feel him as a coach, and when you that's got a guy that's plus 20 and helping you move the ball and handling the pressure, I mean, you kind of roll with that guy. And you know, other days it might be Tobe. And so, but Tobe's been getting better and better and better. I mean, his feel for the game, his understanding what we're trying to do is getting better every day as well.
And finally, you had, I think both Caleb and Jaden have played like 37, 38 minutes the last couple of games. Is that sustainable, do you feel like, with games being sort of spread out? Or?
Well, I mean, the one thing I'm learning about the Big 12 that I guess we weren't doing right early, since kind of our inaugural year, is they have longer timeouts. These timeouts are like 3 minutes. Like honestly, it's like the NCAA tournament. So it matters. I mean, that matters. Your guys get rested. And you don't have back-to-back games. You don't have day in between games very often. So, I think you're comfortable playing, some of your guys more minutes.
Yeah, I just wondered, with Jaden overall having a good game, but you hate to have that turnover, miss a couple of free throws there, but what?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we could always go back in hindsight and look at it, and maybe there's something different I can do, and maybe it's something different I will do next time. But you know what he did, Bruce? At the end, he didn't come out. He made the game-winning layup, and he made game-winning free throws. So he wasn't too tired.
All right, anything else? Good to go. Thank you.